All right,
Let's
so
keep
what
going.
we're gonna be doing today is ChatGPT is gonna be reading for us this highlighted piece of text over here. This is the rest of the translation and translator's introduction that we gotta read until we could actually get to the Rambam's essential like words that the translator is translating. So this is the actual introduction to the Mishnah of the. Excuse me. This is actually introduction of the Mishnah, and here's the translator's introduction to his translation of the Mishnah, Pirush HaMishna. So the Rambam's gonna explain the Mishnah. As you see, he has excuse me, over here in the text of the Rambam, he has it seems like he does everything. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the beginning, and ChatGPT is gonna read for us with God's help. And it starts with right here. Starts with ani ma'atik. So ChatGPT, let's hear it. All right, let's go.
Absolutely. Let's dive in. I'll continue reading from Ani Ma'atik and carry on to the translator's introduction. Here we go. Ani Ma'atik ברוב המקומות, מילה כנגד מילה. I translate in most places, word for word. אבל ארוץ להשיג העניין תחילה. But I will hasten to grasp the main idea first, ולא אחדול לרדוף אחריו ולעוללו במסילה. And I will not cease to pursue it and raise it up along the path, עד המקום אשר היה שם אוהלו בתחילה. Until the place where its tent was at the beginning. So that gives you a sense of how the translator is describing his method. He mostly goes word for word, but he tries to catch the core meaning first and won't stop until he's got it right. We'll keep going through the rest in the same style. Just let me know.
All right, let's hear it. Let's keep going.
Absolutely. Let's keep it rolling. I'll continue reading from where we left off. וכשאמצא בלשון הרב מילה בודדת, and when I find in the Arabic language a single isolated word, ועלי מורדת, ודרך מרי לוקחת, and takes a path of defiance, כשפחה בורחת, like a maidservant running away, חלוצי זממה ירדפוה, my chosen plans will pursue her to the very cracks, וכל רודפיה השיגוה בין המצרים, and all her pursuers will catch her between the narrow straits. So he's using this poetic imagery to say that if he encounters a stubborn or tricky Arabic word, he'll chase it down until he finds a way to translate it properly. You keep going.
What do you got next?
Let's keep the momentum going. וכשהזדמן לי לשון קודש, מילה קשה, בזולתה אמירנה. And when I come across a difficult word in the holy tongue, I will replace it with another. I will remove it from its position of dominance, ומלכותה אתן לרעותה הטובה ממנה. And I will give its rule to its better counterpart. In other words, if he finds a tough Hebrew term, he'll swap it out for a clearer synonym, effectively choosing a better fitting word. Let me know if you want me to keep going.
Yes.
All right, let's continue on. וכל מילה מלשון הרב, אשר אני רוצה לפרשה, and any word from the Arabic language that I wish to explain, אזמין לה 4 מילים או 3. I will prepare forward 4 or 3 words, והטובה שבכולן אדרוש, and I will seek out the best among them. אבחר דרכם ואשיב ראש. In other words, when he needs to clarify an Arabic term, he lines up a few possible Hebrew equivalents and picks the best one.
Okay, keep going.
Absolutely, let's keep going. ומלשון קודש, מילה המצוקים, אלקוט ואכתוב. And from the holy tongue I will pick and snatch its sweet words, and from the top of its tender shoots I will pluck. כדי שיהיו דבריו נכנסים בלב המאזין. So that his words will enter the listener's heart. וכולם נכוחים למבין, and all of them will be straightforward to the one who understands. In other words, he's carefully selecting the best, most beautiful Hebrew words so that the meaning is clear and touches the listener's heart. Let me know if you'd like to continue.
Yes.
All right, let's continue on. וחכמי כל אומה הסכימו כי אין לאדם להעתיק ספר עד ידע שלושה דברים. And the sages of every nation have agreed that a person should not translate a book until he knows three things. סוד הלשון אשר יעתיק מגבוליה, the secret of the language from which he translates, וסוד הלשון אשר הוא מעתיק אליה, and the secret of the language into which he translates, וסוד החכמה אשר הוא מפרש מליה, and the secret of the wisdom whose words he is explaining. In other words, the translators say you need to understand the language you're translating from, the language you're translating into, and the deeper wisdom behind the text itself. Let's keep on if you like.
Yes, keep going.
You got it. Let's continue. ובשלושה אלו, חבל המליצה ירתק. And with these three, the cord of eloquence will be firmly tied. וחוט המשולש לא במהרה ינתק. ואם ליבו מן החכמה נעור, מראה כגפן בוקק. And if his heart is empty of wisdom, like a barren vine, והדעת ממנו נשגבה, and knowledge is beyond him. If someone tries to translate without that triple knowledge, their effort won't hold together well. But if they do have it, their translation will be strong and stable. Let's continue.
Yeah, keep going.
You got it. Let's keep rolling. ועד השלושה לא בא. And he has now reached these three things. אשיב כל מאודי לשמור העניין. I will put all my effort into preserving the meaning. ולתיקון הבניין. וזה יהיה קורבן שגגתי. And this will be the offering from unintentional errors. In other words, if someone doesn't have the full knowledge, they must at least do their best to preserve the meaning and structure. That effort is like making amends for any mistakes. Let's go on if you want more.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely. Let's keep it going. ובשניהם אצא ידי חובתי. And through these two, I will fulfill my obligation. והאל מגלה עלומים ומרנן לשון אילמים. And may God, who reveals hidden things and makes the mute tongue sing, ינסור לשוני בהגיוני, guard my tongue and my speech, and be with my mouth as I utter words. In other words, he's saying that by doing his best, he meets his duty, and he prays that God will help guide his ways so they come out right. We're almost through this part. Let's continue.
All right, let's hear what you got next.
Absolutely. Let's wrap up this section. והיו לרצון אמרי פי, and may the words of my mouth be acceptable. כמו שידעתי כי חנוניו הם חנונים, as I know that his gracious ones are indeed gracious, ומלומדם הם מלומדים, and his taught ones are well taught. כאשר נאמר, וקראתי בשם השם לפניך, וחנותי את אשר אחון, וריחמתי את אשר רחם. As it is said, I will proclaim the name of the Lord before you, and I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and will show mercy on whom I will show mercy. So essentially, he's concluding his introduction with a prayer that his words will be pleasing, and that he will receive divine guidance, just as those who are taught by God are truly taught. And that wraps up the translator's introduction. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to dive into.
All right, good job. All right, so good job also to all the people who've been listening around to this commentary. This is very good. We just finished the translator's introduction, and with God's help, we'll be back with the next Rambam, the Rambam's actual introduction to the Mishnah. Excuse me. Other than that, wish you guys all success. Good job for everybody's listening out there, and we'll see you guys next video with God's help. All right, peace.